Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely transformative. We're breaking down a 180-day blueprint pulled straight from Napoleon Hill's core success principles. So if you've been feeling stuck in a loop, just waiting for circumstances to magically change, this is definitely for you. We're getting right into the source material to uncover the exact mindset shifts you need to become unstoppable. Okay, let's dive into this. The source material kicks things off with a massive proposition. It frames this whole journey not as a demand for your money, but as an ask for your time, specifically your next 180 days. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. No, it is literally the ultimate investment in yourself. The premise here is that if you dedicate the next 6 months to intense, focused self-investment, sure, your financial results might vary at first, but your identity will undeniably change. And the kicker is, when your identity changes, your life follows right behind it. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll be breaking this down logically, starting with a 180-day mindset challenge, then igniting your burning desire, choosing education over entertainment, upgrading your inner circle, practicing decisive action-taking, and finally, making the ultimate investment. Let's get to it. Section 1, the 180-day mindset challenge. This is all about changing your habits, not just setting arbitrary goals. Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark contrast. Think about it. Our schools do a fantastic job teaching us math, science, and history, right? But they rarely teach us how to build a disciplined mindset or create real, tangible value. Average people basically spend their days waiting around for luck and endlessly chasing money. Winners, on the other hand, focus on changing their daily habits to build immense value. Billionaires don't actually chase money. They work relentlessly to make themselves so incredibly valuable that money, opportunities, and respect just naturally gravitate toward them. To cross over to that winning side, you need a strict daily framework. For the next 180 days, you are committing to zero complaining, zero comparing, and absolutely zero excuses. You have to work on yourself every single day. Look, just passively listening to this explainer isn't going to change a thing. True transformation requires you to write these rules down, think deeply about them, and actually execute this commitment day in and day out. Moving to Section 2, ignite your burning desire. Because, let's face it, motivation fades, but desire lasts. The source makes a brilliant point here that fleeting motivation, the kind you get from watching a 2-minute height video, that really only lasts a few hours. But a true burning desire, that's the fuel that will sustain you for years, through all the inevitable struggles. This captures exactly what hundreds of highly successful individuals, business owners, inventors, world leaders have said when studied. When asked where their success actually started, figures like Thomas Edison and Henry Ford didn't point to money. They didn't point to a privileged background or lucky breaks. Almost universally, they attributed their beginnings to the exact moment a burning, inescapable desire was born inside them. So, how do you actually find yours? The source gives us a really practical exercise. First, you're going to write down "my biggest dream" in huge letters on a piece of paper. Right underneath it, define exactly why you want it. The hard truth presented here is that until your why becomes bigger than your desire to hit snooze for the 5th time, bigger than your love for being comfortable, and way bigger than your daily distractions, your dream is just going to remain a dream. You literally have to sacrifice today's comfort for tomorrow's reality. All right, Section 3, education over entertainment. This is the daily lever for success. And this brilliantly illustrates a major pitfall. Consider this wild fact. The average person spends over 2 hours a day just endlessly scrolling. Now, scrolling through 13 minutes of empty, short-form reels gives you a quick dopamine hit and literally nothing else. But if you dedicate those exact same 13 minutes every day to prioritize self-education over entertainment, like learning a new skill or actively gaining knowledge, you actually rewire your brain. It's a tiny, seemingly insignificant daily shift, but it creates a massive, life-altering divergence in who you become over the course of a single year. 180. That's the exact number of days you need to commit to this compound effect. 180 days of actively choosing knowledge over mindless entertainment. 180 days of taking action and reviewing your goals every single day. When you look at your goals daily and feed your mind with high-value education, you are literally training your brain to spot new pathways and completely new solutions that you were completely blind to before. Let's jump to Section 4, upgrade your inner circle. Because, honestly, you are who you surround yourself with. A recurring theme when studying highly successful people is that massive success is never ever achieved in a vacuum. Your environment plays a monumental role, and frankly, your income is usually a direct reflection of the mindset of your network. The source paints a super clear picture of two totally different rooms. If you sit in a room full of complainers who focus heavily on excuses, endless office politics, and just pure negativity, your dreams are going to inevitably shrink right down to fit that exact room. But if you place yourself in a room with 5 growth-minded thinkers who are excitedly discussing investments, reading books, and building new skills, something incredible happens. Within just a few months, your vocabulary, your mindset, and the decisions you make will elevate to match theirs. Willpower is great, but environment? Environment is so much stronger. So how do you actually elevate that network? Well, you have to make the tough call to cut ties with people who pull you down and actively seek out those who inspire you. Find a mentor to learn from directly. And hey, if you don't have access to a personal mentor right now, turn a great book like Think and Grow Rich into your mentor. Most importantly, take the knowledge you get from this new network and turn it into immediate execution. Remember, average people just collect contacts. Successful people build powerful, actionable networks. Which brings us to Section 5, Practice Decisive Action Taking, or Escaping the Poverty of Indecision. The source material emphasizes a truly profound idea here. The greatest poverty in life isn't actually a lack of money. It's the sheer inability to make a decision. Millions of people share the exact same dreams, but they are struck by the paralysis of the average. They overthink every single step. They're totally trapped by the fear of failing or completely paralyzed by worrying about what other people might say. So they just sit around endlessly waiting for a perfect opportunity that doesn't actually exist. Successful individuals, though, they practice decisive action-taking as a daily habit. Even if it's just sending one scary email or making one tough phone call a day, they take action to create those opportunities for themselves. So, the crucial point is, if you're holding back on making a decision because you might fail, you have to remember this core tenet. Failure is not defeat. Failure is feedback. Look, fear is totally natural, and it's always going to exist to some degree. But your commitment to taking action simply has to be bigger than that fear. The person who never starts because they're afraid of failing is going to remain in the exact same spot for their entire life. It boils down to this: slow decision equals slow life. Clear decision equals clear future. You've got to stop waiting for the illusion of perfection, whether it's finally starting that business, learning a brand new skill, or completely transforming your physical health. Take that tough, clear decision today. Take action, make the mistakes, learn from the feedback, and just keep moving forward. Finally, we arrive at Section 6, the ultimate investment, winning your mind first. If you've stayed focused through this explainer so far, congratulations. You are already making a profound promise to your future self. Because here is the ultimate truth, derived from all this source material. The world's greatest investment isn't the stock market. It's not real estate. It's not the next trending startup. The absolute greatest investment you can ever make is in you. For the next 180 days, your primary goal shouldn't just be blindly chasing money. Your goal is to build your character, forge your discipline, sharpen your communication, and massively elevate your confidence. Because when you become powerful on the inside, the external world literally cannot stop you. Let's move to the practical side and see how this builds your daily routine. Every single morning for the next 180 days, ask yourself these 3 very precise questions. What new thing will I learn today? Whose problem will I solve today? And how will I be better than yesterday? Honestly, answering and acting on these questions daily is what will forge your new identity from the inside out. As you maintain this fierce discipline, a transformation pipeline triggers in a very specific, undeniable order. First, your identity changes. You conquer your own mind. You prioritize self-education over entertainment, and you become a decisive action taker. Second, because you are now substantially more valuable to the marketplace, your income changes. And finally, third, your entire lifestyle changes. It's an unstoppable progression. But remember, the whole shebang starts with mastering your mind first. We have laid out the 180-day blueprint. The principles are crystal clear. Now the choice is entirely yours. Will you choose the loud, crowded noise of excuses, fear, and average living? Or will you choose the quiet, unglamorous, silent path of daily discipline, decisive action, and relentless growth? Make your decision. Work quietly, and let your future results do all the talking. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I challenge you to start your 180 days right now.